Hello and welcome to KMTV, your roundup of what's going on in Kent on Thursday, May the 21st. A group of little ships are recreating the journey made during the Dunkirk evacuation to mark its 75th anniversary. In 1940, they rescued thousands of soldiers from the beaches of northern France. Graham Stothard went down to Thanet to find out more.
It's May 1940. Thousands of French, British and Belgian soldiers are stranded at Dunkirk, trapped between the sea and an advancing enemy. Backed up against the English Channel with dwindling supplies, capture or death seemed certain. Michael Weller-Bentel recalls the destruction.
So when we got to the beach, all I could see was a place on fire, Dunkirk, and as I call it, Dante's Inferno, because it was just chaotic.
He was just one of thousands saved by Operation Dynamo, the emergency evacuation of Dunkirk. From the shoreline, he made his way to deep water, was picked up by a military ship and taken back to England.
When you realised you were back in Sheerness,
oh my God!
When you realised, what did you feel?
Well, it was so wonderful feeling that I can't even explain it. It was, I always used to, in later days, to say it was like a great escape. Rather, it was a miracle too, because a miracle on the boat, a miracle on the beach, but I never thought I'd make it, to be quite honest. And nobody thought we'd make it.
The architect of the rescue was Admiral Ramsay. His son believes that without the intervention of those private boat owners, the war may have finished very differently.
I mean, to lose, say, 300,000 people would have done immense harm, A, to our armed forces, and B, to the morale of our country. And so I think it could have been very, very damaging.
Around 800 boats, including the one I'm standing on, were shuttled across the English Channel, rescuing those trapped on French beaches. With little regard for their own safety, over the period of a week, those ships' captains helped save hundreds of thousands of Allied soldiers' lives. It was dubbed the miracle of Dunkirk. This is Graham Stothard for KMTV in Ramsgate.
8 men, including 2 from Kent, have appeared in court in connection with the Hatton Garden jewellery raid in central London. 76-year-old Brian Reeder and his 50-year-old son Paul from Dartford Road in Dartford were charged last night by detectives investigating the £200 million heist over the Easter weekend. All of the suspects were arrested as police searched 12 addresses across London and Kent on Tuesday. Kent's network of speed cameras are to be brought up to date to make them more efficient. £10 million is being spent converting them from film to digital cameras so the images they capture can be sent wirelessly rather than collected manually. 79 fixed sites and 56 mobile cameras are set for the upgrade over the next few years. In other news, a Herne Bay mother who sent her children to school infested with head lice and smelling of cat urine has been convicted of neglect. The children are now in foster care. A teenager has avoided going to jail after admitting causing death by careless driving following a crash in Suffolk which killed his brother. 18-year-old Johnny Cash from Ashford and a friend died when the car they were in smashed into a pub wall in November 2013. And around 30 people have been arrested in a series of raids in Dover and Deal as police clamp down on the supply and trafficking of Class A drugs. To some, it may just be a piece of art, but a temporary sculpture in Ashford has been designed to commemorate a little-known physician with links to the town. Kieran Kaur reports.
It's not what you might expect to see when walking down the high street, but this beating heart sculpture is an artwork with a meaning. It's been created in honour of William Harvey, the physician who first described the circulatory system and who Ashford's hospital is named after.
The idea of this piece was to raise questions really, and hopefully, probably divide the audience as to why it's there. But when people ask the question why it's there, and find out it's a tribute to William Harvey and the significance of him in Ashford and what he did here. Hopefully it will instill a bit of local pride and maybe educate people and a little bit about the relevance.
The 3.5-metre high heart has been placed next to Park Mall in the town centre and also aims to be an interactive experience. But what do shoppers think of the piece, and do they know why it's there?
When I was walking down, I wondered what the turning bit did and why there's a heart there. So it does draw a big attention to it.
Not sure. I think it is a heart, isn't it? I don't really know what it's there for.
So I know you now explain it's a tribute to William Harvey, who discovered the circulation system. If that had been here and people knew about that, then maybe people's reaction would be different. But I think most people just think, why is it here?
It's a nice art piece and it has a good meaning behind it.
It's marvellous, isn't it? It's a terrific looking thing. It's all heart, isn't it? It's all.
This is Kieran Court in Ashford for KMTV.
And finally, a great-grandmother reckons the construction of a new country park at Conningbrook Lakes in Ashford could mean lots of prehistoric finds are discovered. Suze Alvey has been finding out more.
25 years ago, Marion Boxall was watching workmen build her house when she spotted a piece of bone that could be 2 million years old. The bone was among rock brought from the quarry in Willsborough that's now being turned into Conningbrook Lakes Country Park. Mrs. Boxall believes it could be a mammoth bone.
They evidently tossed it out on the front here, just between the house and the hedge, and I went looking round and came across this heavy lump of bone. I thought, oh, that's prehistoric.
The bone weighs 1.5 pounds and she keeps it in her kitchen cupboard. Although she's never shown it to an expert, the 88-year-old is convinced it's a mammoth bone and she's pretty pleased about it.
Well, not everybody's got a piece of mammoth bone.
She was told a lorry driver found a mammoth tusk in the same quarry and a dentist discovered a mammoth tooth. Ashford Museum also has a mammoth tooth and curator Ian Sharp knows mammoths lived in the area. But he can't say for sure whether Mrs. Boxall's bone came from one of them.
There's more local news on KMFM and you can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook, but that's it from KMTV.